Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a big show coming up with all the regular segments. Plenty of mail from people sick and tired of paying for boat launching when the facilities just aren't up to scratch. Plenty of good fishing talk as well. And we count down the days until the Easter break. 10 more sleeps if my maths is correct. As always, please welcome Adam Ring. Adam, we had a nice little session on Botany Bay the other day.
Yeah, and what an experience casting lures practically at the base of the runway as these big jets come flying straight overhead. Unbelievable.
We'll talk about that later on, but we had a great day out with all the staff from Shimano. Went in all our different directions, did a whole lot of different stuff. Some great pics coming up of that. And a big welcome to Trelly. Duck season is now underway. How'd the opening go, Trelly?
Yeah, pretty good. It's went off with a blast, actually. So, yeah, I don't know whether people are just worried about what we do or they just don't get the bang that we have when we're having our fun.
Oh, dear. Now, as a shop owner, do you stay in the shop and work because it's a big day, or is everyone just out there and you go and join them, you know, shooting ducks?
No, we get out and, yeah, it's like a fish opening. It's like the cod opening.
Yeah.
Traditionally, the duck season has been a part of the calendar for ever since time started as far as an Australian tradition.
And was it a successful opening? What's it shaping up to be like, the duck season?
No, really good. Actually, we had a good season around our way. A lot of irrigation, so that brings areas to the front as far as hunting, and also a lot of refuge areas for ducks too at the same time. So,
so I was just going to say, what makes a good and a bad season? Is it the amount of water in the waterways, or like, because obviously, how old's a duck when you shoot it?
An average duck lives about 6 years, so
Okay.
they don't live that long actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, all depending on water. So, but that could change, you know, between now and Easter. We could get a downpour.
So you're not relying on next year breeding or anything. It's more the ducks come to where the water is.
No, unlike fish, where you're stuck
need
in
good
an
spawning
impoundment,
seasons or whatever.
a duck can fly from here to Queensland in probably 24 hours.
Yeah.
And they'll smell the air, they'll go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So how'd you go?
Yeah, I shot a couple, but I missed some chooks. Like they get up there, like
You're not meant to be shooting chooks. You're meant to be shooting
know. You
ducks.
just get up, you just go like this, you just miss, and you just go, shake your head, but they won't go bad flying around.
Yeah. Any good stories from the weekend?
No, not really. No, pretty.
Didn't bump into a lorry or anything?
Nothing that you can share on live television anyway.
Yeah. Actually, no. I shot one duck and actually landed on the ground, and this big hawk came through and just picked it up, and away it went. And I thought, well, I've fed another bit of wildlife. An easy feed.
Do hawks have a bag limit on ducks, or
No, he could only carry one, so I suppose it's one.
So do they have a bag limit or a daily take limit or something like that?
Yeah,
I've got
10
no
for the
idea about
opening day.
duck season.
Yeah, 10 for the opening day, and then it's 5 for every day after that. So
Okay.
yeah, but the season it usually does improve from now till the last day is the last weekend in the long weekend in June.
Yep.
And it just depends on rainfall. We can have some cracker seasons after Easter through that period. Yeah, really good.
Interesting.
And the ducks. Now, Trelly, we were all in Sydney last week. That's why it was a pre-recorded show, and we actually ate a bit of duck last week.
Yeah.
Tried out a couple of Chinese restaurants, didn't we?
you.
How does a wild duck taste compared to the old Peking duck of the Dragon boat that we went to last week?
It's probably a little bit gamier,
which
which a lot of people do like. It's becoming very European.
they do like it.
That's right, yeah. It's becoming very much in vogue as far as something to eat. So, and it's it's clean, it's organic. It flies around and eats where it eats. So it's one of the cleanest forms of meat you can get.
Yeah, there you go. Love the old Peking duck. I don't know if they're getting it from up there to there on the place. Probably a little bit of processing, but anyway. Just a reminder, you can keep up to date with all our show details on our Facebook page, Catch of the Week, Hotspots, and all our info will be available on Facebook from tomorrow morning. Don't forget to like us, and to make sure you get to the right page, just go to our website at talkingfishing.com.au and click on the links to Facebook and Twitter. And I must mention, the winner of our Facebook competition last week was Coralie Comfort. Congratulations, Coralie, on your win, and your prize will be in the mail. Now, boys, time to check what's happening, what's making news in the world of fishing.
And now it's time for the news. The fisheries news. Sounds a bit fishy to me.
And just reaching over and getting the fisheries news. There's some good stuff happening this week too, but let's just start with the old abalone bus because they don't stop.
They don't learn.
And I don't know that we quite understand how big the black market is, how really big it is, but this is an interesting one. Fishy dealings bring abalone traffickers undone. A Fisheries Victoria investigation has cracked an alleged abalone trafficking syndicate operating through a Noble Park North restaurant. Commercial quantities of abalone were seized at 3 premises and seafood processing equipment seized at 1 premises. The investigation was conducted over 6 months, during which time it was alleged the offenders trafficked a commercial quantity of abalone with a retail value of 10 big ones. 10 grand over multiple dates. Like, I think that just says this is the scale of abalone. And a couple of important points on it. The black market unfairly competes with legitimately sourced product in the marketplace, compromising food safety and undermines the management of this public resource. Trafficking in priority fish species such as abalone, rock lobster, southern bluefin tuna and Murray cod is an indictable offence punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and significant fines.
Have you ever eaten abalone, Charlie, Dave?
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's beautiful.
Is it as good as because all this black market arrangements? I know it's very limited when you can take it. So all this. Is it as good as what?
I've never eaten it in a restaurant. Have you eaten it in a restaurant?
No.
No, I've dived for it and I've cooked it myself. I steam it very, very quickly in very fine slices.
Because it's very easy to overcook, isn't it?
I've
never.
I only steam it like for about a minute, and it tastes like scallop, but the meat's very tough. Oh, it's a bit tougher. I don't know. It's weird to describe.
Yeah.
It's unique. And very, very well loved in the Asian community.
Yeah.
So
I really don't see the money in it.
It amazes me all this activity. It's obviously there's a crackdown on it. There's only limited days per year that you can get it.
Yeah.
It's just not
There's
worth
such a
the
black.
effort. I don't.
There's just such a black
Dollars are
market.
there. Obviously, the dollars there.
Yeah,
That's what these guys do.
obviously
But it's also I mentioned the word, and people at home may not understand, but trafficking in a priority fish species. So what they do, they've classed this what they call a priority. I don't know why it doesn't. Priority, I thought was something like more urgent, top of the tree, something. But there's 4 species in there: abalone, rock lobster, southern bluefin tuna, and Murray cod, which was only introduced recently to that priority listing. The penalties for illegally fishing for those species is a lot more than, say, get caught with your snapper bag or your whiting bag or something like that. So important for people to know that, and a reminder because southern bluefin tuna season is almost upon us and people heading down to Portland, you just got to know the rules because you don't want to get caught. So number 2, Werribee River fish to scale new heights with a ladder. The fish of the Werribee River now have their own specially built ladder to climb thanks to a $130,000 Melbourne water project to improve the health of river and its fish. So they've put in this new fish ladder. Trelly, fish ladders, can you describe them? You know much about them?
Yeah, pretty much a fish ladder is the ability for the fish to actually pass a wall or a structure which is put in a river or a stream to hold back a certain amount
So
of
quite
water.
often you see like a dam wall.
Yep.
And they build a ladder around it or something, don't
Exactly,
they? So fish
like
want to
a
move
water
upstream to spawn or something?
Exactly.
They can't jump up the wall, so they go around it via a little...
That's right. And a lot of times these actual ladders will have, at the top of it, they will have a chamber. So once they get to that actual top, they can actually, like lift the chamber, like lifting a solid bowl out.
Yeah.
And you can see all the fish in it. And then you can say, well, there's a certain amount of carp, we'll get rid of them, and there's yellow belly and a cod, and they can do a count.
So what sort of species would be using a fish ladder in the Werribee River?
Well, I'm not too sure.
Do we know where the ladder's been?
Yeah.
It's alongside Bluestone Ford. Do you know where that is?
Not the sewage farm.
I've got no idea.
Because traditionally bream will travel upstream to spawn.
Yeah, okay. It
says they move higher.
Well, it says here the Werribee River supports 30 fish species, including a number of important wreck fishing species. So, I don't know. Anyway, got to keep moving on because we're running out of time. Third and last, excuse me, I was eating peanuts before the show.
still
Southern Rural Water is inviting further submissions from the community after adjusting its proposed changes to boating at Blue Rock Lake. I think we've got a little bit of a clip up here. The refinements include removing the limit on boat size, but introducing speed restrictions in designated 5-knot safety zones. Water skiing personal watercraft remain prohibited. And it goes on to say, after considering the first round of submissions and to implement the government's election commitment under its Target 1 million plan to encourage more wreck fishers by removing boat restrictions, we've now refined our proposal. It has a surface area, this is Blue Rock, has a surface area of 900 hectares and with 2 boat ramps with ample parking. Blue Rock makes an ideal spot to spend a day's fishing from a boat. And last but not least, a little comment here, a 5-knot limit is also currently in place 50 metres from shore for the entire lake. This is not proposed to be changed, as it is an important zone for kayak users to safely navigate the lake. And I think that's been one of the big criticisms of the whole changes, is they needed protection for kayaks because they don't want to be washed over with wakes of boats and stuff like that. So that all looks good. I think if you get onto the Southern Rural Water website, srw.something, just Google it and you'll find all that up there, and you've got till April the 4th to comment. So there you go. That's the fisheries news. Coming up on Talking Fishing, Catch of the Week, and we share a few pics of our fishing in Sydney last week. You want to see the one of Trelly, it's a cracker. See you right after this.
Talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And the amount of Catch of the Week picks this week, boys. I know we were away last week and it was a pre-recorded show, but boy, they mounted up, and I reckon there could have easily been 10 catches of the week this week. Just some magnificent fish, and I guess the beautiful weather of the last couple of weekends has just been sensational. Brought them out. Number one, a nice little gummy shark coming from Western Port. I'll say that again. Jess Walsh. I've still got those peanuts stuck in my teeth that we had before the show. Who eats peanuts before a TV show and tries to talk? But a beautiful gummy shark. Well done, Jess. Lovely pick there from Western Port. And Jess and her other half have been getting a few. They're good customers of Mornington.
Yep, they are.
And
that's right.
catching some very lovely gummies.
Hasn't the? I know and I seem to say it every week, but gummy sharks.
Oh, just gone. Yeah,
nuts.
just.
You can catch them
all
off
year.
You can catch them off the beach. You can get out in the boat and target 30 kilo plus in both Western Port and Port Phillip.
Tell you, one of our hot spots this week, I won't give it away, but is a very good land-based spot where a few of the staff have been going around. Even one of our young staff members got his first schoolie this week around there. So some great shark fishing. Let's get on to number two. And number two, actually, Scott Carter, a beautiful 7 kilo snapper. He actually sent us a little note. Landed, it says, "Hey fellas, landed my first snapper today off Mud Island in 22 metres, about 12:30 in the afternoon. Tide was just starting to rise. 7 kilo fish. I am stoked to get such a huge one for my first bait. Was a squid strip. Thanks to my mates Rob and Dan for their expertise and cheering when we got it aboard."
Background.
Yeah, I know.
It's
How
like
good's that? Looks like
I mean, I fish out a lot at Mud Island, as you know, mainly for my whiting, but you go a little bit further, heading north, so over a drop-off, heading towards the city, and we've had it as hot spots a fair bit, boys, and it is just a cracker of a spot for big snapper, gummies this time of year, and anyway, well done to Scott.
Yeah, 7 kilo fish for your first one.
That's not bad, is it?
You won't snapper fish again. Done. Next, ticket off.
And you know, sometimes you like it a little bit rough, and you love a southwesterly or a westerly blowing. There's none of that out at Mud Island because it can be like glass, middle of the day, and there's some great fishing there. So
snapper season not done.
I think that best place to launch is probably St Leonard's. That's the closest spot to that, and it's all good. Now the next one, a young fella, Nicholas. I'm going to try and say this. Papacala. Didn't I say it so well? Papa. I was saying it so well earlier, but just in rehearsals. But his personal best salmon and calamari, taken just behind the footy ground at Williamstown. How good is that?
That's a big sambo.
That is a big sambo. Lots of big salmon around the bay at the moment.
Yeah.
They have been for quite some time, but that's a cracker fish.
And we get a bit blasé about salmon around here because they school up so big and you can catch them whatever you want. But the fact of the matter is, they're one of the best sport fish we've got here. You can catch them on top water, soft plastic, metal slug, whatever you want to catch them on, you'll get them.
Yep.
Great way to introduce the kids into lure fishing as well, because not everything needs to be perfect. That soft plastic doesn't need to be dead straight because they're such an aggressive, territorial fish. Yeah. They're an amazing species, I think. They really are.
Reckon I could catch one?
Even you could catch one, Charlie.
Next question.
Number 4 on Catch of the Week, James Bortless, a beautiful 85 centimetre elephant fish out of Hastings in 10 metres of water. How good's that?
Interesting looking fish, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a fair size one too.
It is. It is.
You've got to be happy with that, and it's always good to throw an elephant in every... this time of year, it's elephant season, isn't it?
Exactly. And if you've never caught one, go and catch one. They're a very, very interesting creature. They're in plague proportions. Get the whiting gear out on them and have a bit of fun.
Do they get to a certain size? Because I've noticed they're a bit of sort of ammonia type of taste to them sometimes.
Well, the shark, I mean, some people call them an elephant shark, so they do have that bit of ammonia taste, and when you get rid of the ammonia, then they're tasteless. So whether you like ammonia or not, you can eat one or you don't.
Catch and release species.
I've I've eaten it. Ken the chef, good mate Ken the chef, has cooked it up, and he just absolutely barbecued it and put spices all over it.
And if anyone's going to be able to cook it up and make it taste all right, it'll be Ken. So.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So just for something different, check this out. Liz Waters went down to the Gippsland Lakes entrance to be precise. Can't tell you where because she marked it on the map for me today at work. But Liz works in our office, and beautiful Eastern King prawns. Now, they got the new moon, a little lead up to the new moon, just perfect. Liz said she did 3 nights. In the middle of the night. Like one day the tide didn't start till 2 in the morning. And I think that night they got 10 kilos between the group, and they're good. They're good prawns.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot more people are getting into this these days.
Yep.
Lakes Entrance has kind of been put on the map the last few years with the size of the prawns they've been getting. So no, well done, Liz. I know you've been.
I
you had a crack
prefer them
earlier.
than an elephant fish, I think.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, just quietly. and if you can get them that size, I mean, that's good, you know. But well done, Liz. That is excellent. And lucky last for catch of the week, Greg and Shannon Imlach, a beautiful pair of 5-pound brown trout out of Tolondo.
Don't you worry about Tolondo. It's back, baby.
I reckon it's just starting to cool down and fire up, isn't it?
That's nice.
I know Trevor Holmes has been putting up some fantastic fish this week on his Facebook page. Victorian Inland Charters, I think it is, and or all the Tolondo pages have got them. Tolondo is just, give it a month, right, when it just really cools down and those fish become a lot more active, and we are in for one hell of a season, I can tell you, down at Tolondo, and just great to see, isn't it?
Oh, for sure, especially all the hard work that went into bit of extra water running into the place, and it's going to carry it through winter for some of the best trout fishing you'll ever see.
Absolutely. Come back to Tolondo in a second, but if you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing picture info@ifish.com.au.
Trevor put a thing up on the Tolondo page during the week about the duck shooters and just a bit of mess left around the place from duck opening trolley. And
what is in, like,
who's worse? Who's worse? Oh well, no.
Carcasses.
Are you meant to camp above the high water line of lakes and things like that? Yeah. So they camped, close to the lake as they could, I guess. Got into the, I don't know that people realise, but all the timber that lies around a lake that's below the high water line is actually protected structure for fish, because when the lake's full, that's the structure that fish are going to go to and so forth. And geez, they got to the chainsaws and really cut up some firewood and stuff. That, I mean, that lake's been pretty low for a long time, so all that timber's dry. Beautiful red gum.
It's one of those
spoils
things.
It a bit.
Eildon suffers the same thing. I mean, Eildon at 60% the way it is at the moment.
Yeah.
You've got a large area between there, but you might have to walk, when Eildon goes down, you might have to walk 1 kilometre to the water.
Yeah.
So as far as camping,
people do camp close to the water.
You're sort of like, well, I'm going to camp way over there.
But
I'm going to camp down here. So, and by that, you're correct. Yeah.
So is it illegal to camp below the high water?
Below that high water mark, that's correct. And you're right about the wood and that type of thing. So,
shouldn't be touching that wood because, like I said, that wood is the fish habitat when the water's full. So
the thing is with your rubbish, I mean, it's all bush users. I mean, I don't care if what sort of bush you. If you can take it there, you can take it home.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Well, he put a couple of photos up. I don't know if you'd want to take it home, some of the stuff they left, but anyway. You probably want to throw it in the trailer. So anyway, I won't talk much more about that. We were in Sydney last week for a conference, and didn't we see some good stuff? I don't want to give away too much.
But there's some exciting stuff coming.
There's a few things that happened during the year, and probably the biggest thing is the AFTA trade show, and you've been to China Fish, but the AFTA trade show is usually the spot where, as retailers, we get to see from the wholesalers what's coming up, what are the new products about to hit the market, and I think companies are getting smarter and smarter, and we've had presentations from most of the big companies, and wow. That's all I say is wow. So there is some good stuff coming.
Very good. There's a lot of competition out there too, as you know, Dave. I mean, everyone's trying to beat each other to the peg, so that creates really good competition.
Well, that creates
we see the benefits of that.
Perfection in a lot of things.
Yeah, you're right.
If you like, because you got one going, well, they released that last year. We've got to do one better. And just some of the quality that's about to come.
It's unbelievable. You kind of think about where fishing's gone and going to over the last few years. At what point does it end? I think about this every year. We go to AFTA and the conferences, and you have a look at the stuff, and you just think, where do they keep going? But they keep managing to raise the bar, and it looks as though reels are probably coming back a bit. It's been all rods the last few years as far as where all the technological advancements have come. It looks like reels are starting to get a little bit more attention.
There's some changes coming, isn't
Oh,
there?
it's pretty exciting.
Just the materials they use, the amount of
that's
ball
right.
bearings, that sort of stuff, into compact rods, and it's just excellent.
It's great.
And we did get out a fish, out and had a fish last Friday on Botany Bay, which really surprised me too. Botany Bay. I mean, I went with Mark Dunphy.
Yep.
And Fee and I went out and we just thought, a bit of broom fishing or whatever. No, we went out the entrance. It was dead calm outside. Went about 2 kilometres along the coast towards Sydney. Found a little bay that had some nice squid in it. Got some squid. Went back to the entrance. We were trolling that squid on a downrigger, and I think we've got a few pics to show while we're talking about all this. But there's a nice flathead. We were trolling right next to the walls for kingfish with squid on a downrigger. Just different fishing. Then back inside the estuary, there's a beautiful flathead. There's a nice brim we got later on when we got in the estuary, and you can see quite a nice day inside, although 30 knot winds were just around the corner, and by the time we got off the water about 1 o'clock, it was blowing. There's a little rat king we got on a live squid. It was only a rat, but good fun.
Well, see, this is the diversity of Botany Bay. You're out the front slow trolling squid for that king. We were fishing at the base of the runway to the airport.
Yeah.
We had planes flying directly overhead, which would
There's
almost
another nice brim,
which would almost take your hat off. They were coming that close.
Yeah.
And I was with Cam, who manages a few stores over in WA.
Yep.
And we were catching kingfish on soft plastics, the same sort of size. There's Cam there on big.
And
soft
that one was
plastics.
right near the runway, wasn't it?
That's casting towards the runway. It's an
You
amazing
can see a
fishery.
plane in the background there, Kate. He's red tail.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a very unique and interesting fishery.
Yeah.
I love it. And you move out from there onto the flats and you're catching brim and trevally and there's whiting around.
I was going to say, we fished in a metre of water. By that time, the southerly had blown in, so we were moving quite fast, and you're just casting in the direction the boat was drifting and just hopping the little plastics back and just brim after brim. It was just absolutely sensational.
When that southerly come through, we moved right up into the canals.
Yeah.
And it was like fishing Patterson Lakes. You're casting small, lightly weighted plastics at boat holes and moorings and little jetties and, right in the middle of civilization and catching heads of
we didn't
brim.
put a photo of what Trelly got up to too. He was. There he is.
Look at that.
Tough day on the water, Charlie.
Trelly actually didn't make
tell
it
you
out
what.
fishing with us that day.
I
Decided to do a tour of Sydney.
I was just training the dog for duck opening.
Is that you, Trelly? They did shave your hair
not
on one
me.
side. That does look like you, Trelly.
It grows back quick.
Same sort of belt.
It's all right. Yeah.
And the body and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
On that note,
you idiot.
coming up on Talking Fishing, product of the week, and plenty more on Talking Fishing. See you after this.
Talking fishing. Talking fishing, talking fishing. Nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome back to Talking Fishing. And Trelly, you got product of the week this week. You've brought it in. Roll away.
We have actually. When it came up to product of the week, I was thinking that when I go fishing, there's a number of products that I just feel naked without.
Yeah.
So in the boat or
pants one of
walking in a bank, pants is usually one of them. But yeah.
When he tours Sydney, there's a few things he doesn't go without as well.
So yeah.
Alcohol's one of them.
And one of those things which is really, really important to have is a set of lip grips. Lip grips are really good, again, just for holding your fish, but they come in a few different varieties.
I don't know if people can actually see your finger, but
I could have
you
done
got
with a set of
demolished by
these.
that flathead the other day, didn't you?
I made the mistake of
flathead finger.
trying to,
Grip him
jaw
in the
grip
mouth.
him,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he did the old flathead head shake and tore my thumb to
And they
pieces.
do, and all you needed was one of those.
And that, I'll wait for the slide to finish. That smaller set on the right-hand side.
We can't see your thumb while that was up. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Which I'm holding here. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that's
right.
They've all got
Yeah.
lanyards, so make sure you use them because you are leaning out of the water to get them.
There's been a few fish swim off with a
Yeah,
grip in their mouth.
exactly. And once you clip them on,
That's
they don't,
right,
they don't
yeah.
come off very well.
But that's a really good size for the kayak, that one there. This one's a really good size just to have in your boat. Now, this one here also comes with a scale in it, so it's got about a 30
So you can
pound.
weigh your fish while you're...
Definitely.
Yeah. So, really good idea, but I really don't recommend that if you want to keep your fish alive. So, Murray cod, that type of thing, when you don't lift
So you want to
them.
release them, but snapper
Yeah.
and it's gun in the tank or gun in the kill tank or whatever.
Exactly.
You want to know if it's a 5 or a 6 or a 7 kilo?
Or you can
That's
clip,
it.
you can clip them on a lot of nets these days. Small nets come with lanyards or even just clip that onto the framework and obviously get a rough idea of how much your net weighs. You can still get a rough idea of what your fish weighs before you let it go. But not a good idea to hang them up by the lips if you want to let them go.
That's it. So number 2 is the pliers. Now, Look, I love this set of pliers here. This is the large game pliers.
Yep.
It's bent on the end, so when you're actually trying to get a hook out of a fish, or hook out, so you can actually stick it into the gob of a mouth fish, and then you can actually see what you're actually getting a bit of a grip on, which is really good. You've got a couple of little accessories on the side for opening the eyes of hooks, that type of thing.
Yep.
This particular one's got the Lumo handle, which we've talked about before, so it glows in the dark, so you can pick it up anywhere.
See it when you're fishing at night.
Yeah.
You can't find your pliers.
Yeah, but I just like the fact that you can pick up a fish by the hook and lift the fish, so they're really, really strong. Plus, if you've got a lure and the lure's reasonably big, if the fish shakes, your hand's far enough away that you're not going to get the other treble in your hand.
Yeah.
So that's what I really, really like about these. Murray cod, especially saltwater fish, they sit in the bottom of the boat and they go da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
You're trying to get I watch it so many times and you go, is there going to be a hook going in a minute?
Yeah.
That doesn't worry me. I'll grab anything with that snow rose.
Well, they are marketed as a game ply, but realistically, they're probably one of the most universal set of pliers you can get. I mean, obviously, when you're dealing with brim and whiting, they're probably a little bit too big, but snapper, Murray cod up your way, trolley, you're better off with a big set of pliers.
Yeah.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, and any set of pliers, like even if you haven't got a big set, take a little set of pliers with you, because just removing those hooks from trout, like you say, just
be
a
lost
really
without
good
them.
thing.
Exactly.
It would be, yeah. You can also get the little pouch, right, with a little lanyard on it again. Again, kayaking, that type of thing, they'll fit into that, which is a really, really good idea.
Brilliant.
Braid scissors. Braid scissors is something that, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always changing lures, right?
Yep.
Oh, that red lure's not going to work, so I'm going to change to another
Yeah.
one. And I don't usually use clips, so I actually tie them on with a little loop knot type of thing, so that they swim properly. I'm always changing lures. So braid scissors to me is very, very important, and it's something that I just really feel lost without.
Yeah.
So it's
And if you're retying knots, so you break off or something like that, and you need that, tie your leader to your braid, you need to trim it up nicely.
Yeah.
It's the only thing to do with.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Don't try doing it with a knife on the cutting board.
Now, I don't know if you can see that. It's quite hard to pick up because it's quite small. But with that set of scissors there comes a little holder, which you can couple of screws in.
It's screwed onto like
That's
a
right.
bait board
So
or anywhere
a
on your
bait
boat.
board or on a centre console. So they're always within arm's
Or in
distance.
Trelly's case, to a park bench or something.
Because you can never find them when you need them.
No, that's right.
That just keeps them visible, gives you somewhere to put them, and you can lock them down.
Last one there, like I say, this one here, you guys use these down there all the time.
Yeah.
Freshwater guys aren't used to these, but honestly, they're as good for freshwater fishing, like little redfin. Grab your line, run it down the line, flip your fish over the side of the boat.
Flatty
and they come
flickers
off.
is another name
the
for it.
flatty flickers.
Old flatty flicker.
Right, and I use those freshwater a lot. I know you guys use them down here a lot.
All the time.
But I just thought there's some items that I really do feel just are essentials. Last one is your brag mat. So your brag mat, I feel, is one of those things, size limits, being legal, all that type of thing. It's just so easy to, and again, some of your fish have got a slime sort of a coating, which is a protective coating. Drop that in the water, pop it in your boat, pop the fish on it, measure your fish, and then let and release it. So it's a really good thing.
Trelly, something people forget. They think, oh, why do I need a brag mat? I've got a sticker on my boat. You get the stickers for free off Fisheries Victoria.
Yeah.
You can't take a photo of a fish held up against a sticker properly and it's kicking about. You lay them on a brag mat, let them go, just sit them there. Their nose is up against the end stop, and you can actually get a good indication in your photo of how big your fish is. If you've got an 80 centimetre flathead, you want to show that it's 80 centimetres on a brag mat.
Yeah,
That's why they call them brag mats.
Exactly.
And I've put them on the side of the boat sometimes. You turn around, they flip off, and you haven't got a fish to show.
Yeah.
With your sticker up there.
So right. So yeah.
Now, another thing was with these with the brag mat was, I don't know if you got that texter there.
Texter, I do.
This is a really good idea if you've got a brag mat, is if you buy them for a gift or you buy them for birthday, Christmas, that type of thing, you can actually write on these with a black texter, right?
Yeah.
So one thing is to measure your fish and say, last February on the 5th, I'd caught a flathead 80 centimetres and mark it off on there.
Yep.
But another thing to do is, and what we'll do with, I think we discussed this earlier, is we're going to actually sign this from the panel, from all of us,
All right.
from Talking Fishing,
Yep.
and we'll have this as a prize.
There you go.
There we go.
What a great idea.
So
There you go.
we'll actually sign this. So we were Talking Fishing from David, Adam, and myself, and we'll put this up at a later stage.
Beautiful. We'll do that during the break. And what are we going to do? We're going to give it away on Facebook or something like that?
What we're going to do is, we'll think you're going to tell us about it, the Facebook.
I'll just make it up as we go right now.
And what we'll do is I'll put one of each item of the product of the week in a little parcel,
And someone's going to win it.
and someone's going
That's
to
it.
win it on a Facebook
The
competition.
fishing essential kit.
All right, we'll make this up during the ad break, but if you can get on and like our Facebook page, we'll put a competition up there tomorrow morning, and whatever the question is, whatever the answer is, we'll work out some way that someone wins this great pack, and we'll all sign the brag mat, and sounds good.
That's
There
what
you
I do.
Well done. Up next, Kramer's mailbag and plenty more on Talking Fishing. See you after this.
Talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And it is time for Kramer's mailbag, and I have just got a million
A novel.
this week, yeah, and I couldn't print them all. We'll go through. Trelly, just before you do that, we've just all signed that, so if you want to be in the draw for the brag mat and all those things that you were talking about before,
Yep.
check out Facebook tomorrow, like the page, and just keep an eye on it. Tomorrow morning we'll start some sort of a competition. As we do, we just make it up as we go. So there you go. All right, Kramer's mailbag. Hi David, thanks for raising the issue in regards to boat ramp fees. I launch from both Altona and Werribee, and believe that ramps are now charging $17 to launch. Both ramps have ticket machines that take both card and coins, with the season's ticket at Altona costing $275. That's ridiculous. People from interstate
$17.
laugh at us. Yeah. What you get in return is the lack of parking spaces during peak season and paying wages for parking officers to fine people who don't have tickets or have parked illegally. Revenue, revenue, revenue. Can something be done on a state level to control ramps and fees to remove control from greedy local councils? It is ridiculous. You can see it up there, the lists, and I don't know. You just shake your head, don't you? Number 2. Blue Rock Dam. I've watched the last 2 editions of Talking Fishing, and I note that you've not mentioned Blue Rock. On Saturday the 7th of March, the Herald Sun public notices had the proposed changes were published, and invite comment and submissions before 4th of April. Now, we actually talked about that in Fisheries News earlier on. Thanks very much to Lindsay Jackgung, I think it is, from Somerville. Well done, Lindsay. Thanks for letting us know. Next one is from John Fotiade. I'm hopeless with names. Fotiadis. Hi, gents. Great show, great humour, and happy birthday to the young fella. That was you earlier on. Young fella turned 30.
There you go.
Gee, we had a nice dinner the other night for your
Oh,
birthday, didn't we?
beautiful.
That was so good. Where is a good place for rock fishing in Melbourne? Somewhere that's safe.
Oh, so now we spoke a little bit via email about this. Safe is probably the key word, because
Yeah.
a lot of the, I guess, rock platforms we hear about can be quite dangerous, punch bowl and the likes. The Mornington Peninsula has got some of the best snapper platforms in the state.
Yep.
Straughns Road, Bradford Road, they're just a couple to start.
Which aren't in the oceanic waters, they're
No,
in the bay.
they're in the bay. They're in
Yep.
the bay, so they'd be probably some of your safest as far as water. Obviously, keep an eye on your conditions. Make sure you've got footing and life jackets, because things always do happen, but it's a great place to start.
Any rocks around Shepparton, Shirley?
Plenty of spider rock.
Next one from Peter Balzen. Great show, guys. I cannot wait till every Tuesday night. I know this topic has been discussed before, but why do we in Victoria have to pay to launch our boats? On the weekend at Werribee South, they wanted $17 for me to launch my kayak, as I have it on a trailer. Could we find out how other states manage to fund their boat ramps, and maybe ask the government where our boat and trailer registrations go to? How the other states do it is the actual government and the councils recognise the importance of boating and fishing to their communities,
There you go.
and they provide damn good facilities, and we just get crap.
Jarla
Jarla. Yep, Jarla pile. We'll get Jarla back. She might want to come on that pile.
She'll see the pile.
You've got a kayak on a trailer?
That's
really-
hard
That
work.
is wrong.
Realistically, they don't even need to use the boat
Oh,
ramp.
dear.
There's something's got to go on.
Roy Kasani. Hi Dave, you're 100% correct, mate. Unreal at Altona boat ramp and the Warmies ramp. The price to launch, it's $19 for a 24-hour ticket, but he's just saying we should check that out just in case. If you park in the wrong place, you get fined $75 by Hobson's Bay Council. What a joke. I'll tell you what. It just keeps going.
Wow.
Hi, Dave and guys. Is there an update in the stocking of Barra in Hazelwood Pondage? If it was to proceed, how many years would be predicted before catchable quality fish could be caught? Well, I can tell you that. I think that they'll be stocked at about 30 centimetres. In fact, that was the promise, a good sized fish. So they'll be bred in there's a Geelong and Werribee farm for barramundi where they service the restaurant industry.
Yep.
And they'll be 30 centimetres. They'll be pretty much catchable straight away. And I think people will want to catch them straight away. The excitement factor. But the tilapia that are in there in their millions, they will want to be getting them they'll be fat. The barramundi, they'll be a metre within perhaps a couple of years.
3 years, yeah.
Perhaps a couple of years, maybe 3. It'll happen pretty quick. That was from Moons in Glen Waverley. On your Moons. Next one, heading to Point Leo at Easter with a fishing kayak. Don't take a trailer because you'll have to pay a launch fee. Where's a good spot for gummies, whiting and squid off Point Leo, Ads?
Point Leo, you can basically push in off the beach, and from now, Point Leo is quite a flat beach, so great for a kayak. You don't have to go far off the actual beach itself. It's one of the most renowned land-based fishing spots in Victoria to catch gummy sharks and the like. So you won't have to paddle out too far. I would, though, be paddling maybe just out of casting distance where you're maybe not dealing with the pressure of some of the guys on the beach, and you're a great chance of catching fish, actually. Great part of the port.
And that was thanks to Ken O'Shea. Gee, I've got a few to get through. I might run out of time here. Not sure how we're going. If you ever get the Victorian Minister back on the show, can you please ask her about the following? What is the process for community groups to get permission to build or add to the array of artificial reefs in Port Phillip Bay? I understand that artificial reefs create habitat and encourage fish stocks, and have often wondered what is required for a community fishing group to get permission to build and install an artificial reef structure, and what would be the specifications for such a reef? What can it be made out of, and what restricts where such a reef can be located? A quick answer to that one.
Great
who's this
question,
from?
by the way.
Greg Fitz.
Great question.
Greg, there's a guy who is an unbelievably great bloke and leading scientist in Snapper, but he actually runs the Artificial Reefs program. He works over at Queenscliff. His name is Paul Hamer. I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning his name. You can either ring Queenscliff, or if you want to drop me another note, kramer@ifish.com.au, and I'll put you in touch with Paul, and he's the guy who can answer all your questions on that. He also says, is it possible to pay an added fee on your boat registration such that a person on board, as all persons on board are deemed to have a valid fishing licence? The reason for this is that often I take out newcomers to fishing, and whilst I realise you can get a fishing licence over the internet, it's often inconvenient to have to get these people a fishing licence. I think it might be more efficient to have the option of paying an extra $20 to $30 on my boat rego to have a boat-specific fishing licence. Well, I reckon if you pay it on your... I understand the concept, but if you pay it on your boat rego, that gets put into cyberspace and you never see it again. And they'll charge you. They'll charge you more to launch your boat. So, love the idea, but I'm just not sure that's workable. But thanks for the email, Greg. All good. I've got a couple more to go, and we're going to run out of time, I think. But I'll just read this one. Look, this was from Gary Borden, I think, or Bowden. On the 30th of August 2013, as I was fishing, or should you say about to fish, with my brother-in-law on the rocks near Oliver's Hill boat ramp, I pointed out to my brother-in-law that there was a crab on the rocks near the water. He could not see it, so I ventured down to catch it and show him. Well, I never reached the crab as I slipped, and my leg was caught in the rocks. As a result, I have 2 plates and 8 screws on my ankle and at the base of my leg. The point that I'm making is that you don't have to be on the rock ledges near the surf to be in danger. I could have been alone, and I could have hit my head and was unconscious. My head could have been in the water and drowned. I did such a good job on my ankle that I believe it is used in a teaching class at the hospital. Being 62 years old, I still have trouble with my ankle. In a cruel twist of fate, I bet you guys cannot guess what I was given for dinner in hospital that night. You guessed it. No, fish.
I was going to say crab.
Anyway, keep up the good work on the show, Gary Borden. So well done, Gary. I know you gave us another one about petrol prices. So anyway, we'll go into that. And I can't miss that one because I'm getting told that we're running out of time. So we'll save that one for the next one. But if you'd like to write to me or these blokes, this is what you have to do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
And coming up, this week's hotspots and what's coming up on C31 Fishing. Be back shortly on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Hello, Richie Minnow here. It's now time for this week's Fishing Hotspots on Talking Fishing. Marvellous.
Yes, fishing hotspots. Richie, he made an appearance in that little slide before, Trelly, too.
He's sneaking up everywhere, Richie.
You on the park bench. I think you might have been trying to snuggle up to you there. But
Crosses
anyway.
in his eye.
Let's get into the hotspots now, because there is some great fishing spots, and like I said, we're only 10 sleeps away from Easter, so people want to know where to go fishing, and particularly not this weekend but next, and we might do a bit of a feature next week on the Easter stuff. But Beaumaris, plenty of pinky snapper, and also some of those big salmon, like we saw old mate young Nicholas. Plenty of big salmon around Beaumaris Bay at the
Yeah, it
moment.
can be quite exciting in there because the salmon will push all the bait fish up into the bay itself, and you'll be able to smack them on surface and all sorts of things.
Look for the birds.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where the salmon are, and you never know, there might be some big kings sitting underneath it because the kings are still on. Number 2, St Leonard's snapper. I think we saw some. We saw obviously a cracker photo of 7 kilo, and I know it's been a hot spot for many times. It's just a place where not many people go.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is getting more popular, and there's some great fish, big gummies, big snapper. Easy conditions to fish.
Yeah. And when you hear St Leonard, you think whiting.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I call it
snapper,
St Leonard's. You could actually say that you're off Mount Martha,
Yeah.
Port Arlington. You could be off anywhere.
So
it's behind Mud Island.
So there's a hint. Just line them all up and hit that point.
Just get out the back of Mud Island, but it is probably, the nearest shoreline is probably St Leonard's. So not a bad spot, but anyway, a great spot. Number 3 in hot spots, the Rip.
The Rip.
The Kings are still there.
Exactly.
Still going.
Still going.
I think people have just given up a little bit. They're not going there.
Don't give up.
Don't give up, because
Probably
there's some.
sick of eating it.
Well, I'm not. Jeez. We got another one on the weekend, like it was, or last Friday. I know it was in New South Wales, but
Still counts.
Still counts. And kingfish, there is nothing that you can get sick of. You know, they are just a great fish. Get to the Rip,
You
get
can
your
catch 'em
jigs
all
down
day
there.
too.
Something we haven't seen is a lot of live baiting for kingfish, and I'm certainly going to take some time over to the Easter period and get out to the mussel farms out in the middle of the bay and get some slimy mackerel if I can, because I'm sure they're there. It's just no one's been bothered doing it. Everyone's been jigging.
The
So.
jigs have been so successful.
Yeah, so
I
the
think
fish
you
have
just
been.
Yeah.
Fish have been
Why
out.
go and chase that when I can bite it off
Yeah.
the wall?
I'll
and
tell you
go?
why, because my hernia is still hurting from the last kingfish I caught when I was
So
jigging.
live baiting's for the more senior members of the sport, Trelly.
I tried to actually put some padding around the hernia while I was in Sydney last week, and I did that well by about 4
Lucky I didn't
kilos.
know about it.
Yeah, one of those cushions we showed on Product of the Week one week.
Number 4, Tankerton has got to be the number 1 spot for whiting. When the whiting are tough, get down to that bottom end of the middle spit around Tankerton, and there's some great fish around there. Some big fish coming out of Western
That's
Port
right,
at the moment
and we'll maintain the fishing right through the Easter period as well. Quite a versatile spot where you can catch many species, but the whiting are definitely on fire.
Next couple of weeks are the time to do it too. New moon was probably a day or two ago, I think. So, you know, avoid that full moon period. I just don't think the whiting like it, but Tankerton is the spot to go. Number 5, this is the little spot we were talking about. Lang Lang. There you go.
Get onto the shoreline, get onto the beach at Lang Lang and catch yourself a gummy.
I think Jerry, Gary, Jesse, all the young boys at work.
Yeah, so
Gary's one of the youngest.
Half the crew were down there, I think. Took
They
over
were.
the beach there at Lang Lang. And
Easy to get to. Like I haven't fished that hard, so good, easy access.
Yep, very easy to
Have you
get
fished
to.
there, Ads?
I haven't fished there. I've driven past it a lot on the way back down to Bass River and places like that. But
Little spot that not many people know about. You sort of get it's a funny little road down to Lang Lang. Like
Yeah,
you go,
it is.
hang on, there
It
can't be
is.
anything at the end of this road except just a mud bowl. And
but it's very easy fishing, easy to get down onto the beach. You'll get not only the gummies, but the elephants will be right up in there now too. So there'll always be something going on.
Off the beach, you get the elephants as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And number 6, people, I'm sure you're thinking about getting down there. Have a look at that.
Lock it in for Easter. Lock it in.
I saw some fish, and like I said, you can't put everything on the catch of the week, but some beautiful tuna come out of last weekend that were genuine 30 kilo fish.
Still in quite close.
Yeah, very close.
And if you can't get a bluefin, which there's heaps of them around at the moment, go and get a kingfish.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to do that before the water starts getting too cold and that. Which Easter, I know Easter's probably the time when a lot of boats get down there. I think one of the photos of the tuna that I got during the week was they said there was about half a dozen cars in the boat ramp that morning. You know, that will grow to about 200 over Easter, I would have thought, for a launch.
Lures, or they what sort of fishing? What sort of?
It's interesting. Obviously,
those guys were bait. bait fishing. They're only in shallow water
okay.
and just using live bait.
And leave your king gear on. Vertical jigs and service lures. If those tuna push a school of bait up and the birds start working, a stick bait into that school and you'll hook up 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
If you can get them on the sounder, drop a vertical jig. It's something that's been gaining momentum over the last few years, and they will eat them. Definitely will.
So I'm sure in the next couple of weeks we'll see plenty of tuna starting to feature. Now, boys, coming up on C31, if you don't want to go fishing, and I think there's a little bit of a winter blast coming later on this week, you can just sit back and watch C31 fishing. And after us tonight, Catch and Cook Savage Seas, straight after that at 10 o'clock. Wednesday morning, Ozfish TV. Thursday in the morning, you've got 6:30 in the morning, AFN's show, the Australian Fishing Network. 7 a.m, we've got a repeat of our show. So if you miss us, that means you won't be watching right now. You can watch us, while you're eating breakfast, 7 o'clock Thursday morning. Friday there's a bit, Saturday there's a bit. We're repeated again at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Then a massive extravaganza.
You can pretty much just leave the TV on.
Just leave the telly on. Yeah. Have a
that.
snooze between 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock and wake up and watch some more fishing. There you go. That's what's coming up on C31. Just a little, I know we haven't mentioned it, but this is actually a pre-recorded show because I got something on tonight. Sorry, boys, to rearrange your life. But anyway, it is.
For the 3 people that might be at the Rod Stewart concert coming up, Dave
I'll be
will
one of
there,
them.
front row centre.
I'm going to be singing Sailing.
Gonna
be doing that.
Throwing his underpants up on
Might
the
even
stage.
throw me bonds up on stage. Rod! I love you, Rod. Anyway, I'm right now, I'm at Rod Stewart. Anyway, it's only pre-recorded night before, so it's all fresh stuff.
Hopefully
it's all good. Boys, very quickly, I know we've only got a couple of minutes, but we've sort of touched on this before about you want to get a photo of a big fish. You want to keep fishing once you've got your bag limit.
Yep.
Is it illegal to keep fishing once you've got your bag limit if you're going to practice catch and release?
I think it's illegal.
I think it's a huge grey area.
Yeah, it's upgrading. I think you find it's illegal.
Yep.
To actually upgrade, keep your fish and then upgrade as they call it.
Yeah, because if you're say you're taking a photo of your first fish over your bag, and fisheries pull up, you're done.
Yep.
They will fine you.
Yeah. Okay, but if you go snapper fishing and you get your bag limit, right? It's in your kill tank. It's done and dusted. You've got ice on it. It's all over. Why can't you fish for gummies? And what happens if you catch a snapper?
You can.
Right.
So if you bring a snapper up, because I just
This
heard
is
a
what I
little
mean by
whisper
grey area.
from a few people that said that fisheries are going pretty hard on it at the moment.
Yep.
And I think,
As in booking people?
well,
As
certainly
in
threatening
they're
to.
looking for it?
Yeah, certainly threatening to say, hey, you got your bag limit, you shouldn't be fishing anymore. Well, you can legally fish and you can catch gummies, you can catch flathead if you want, you can go squid fishing once you've got your bag of a certain species. The other thing is, and we have spoken before, is if you catch say a Murray cod that's outside of the slot limit, Trelly.
Yes.
Well, you want a photo of it, don't you? I mean, that's, the Victorian government's trying to encourage, 1 million people to go fishing within the next few years. So why not, if you catch a big cod, you want to get a photo of it. Isn't that what it's all about? Treat it right, look after it and that.
If you handle them right and that type of thing, look, there's this is grey area, like you said, and, handling a Murray cod, getting in the water with it, not pulling it out of the water or doing the wrong thing by it, releasing it, take a quick photo, away you go.
Yeah. Fisheries watch this show.
Yes.
So, your opinion, should you be able to, we see a lot of people catch a big Murray cod, they actually hop in the water with it now, so they don't have to get out of the water and they'll hold it and get a fish and you get a bit wet and all that sort of stuff. That should be okay, shouldn't it?
I think you'll find, I can't talk for fisheries, but they encourage fishing, but they encourage the proper practices of actually catch and release. So if that's taking a photo within that process, I won't have a problem.
Yeah, and I think that's where the onus gets put back on us as the anglers. Learn how to handle these fish. Don't be netting your fish, put it on the deck of the boat, then getting your camera ready, then getting an old mate to line it up properly.
That's right.
Keep the fish in the water, in the net. Keep it healthy. Have your camera ready to go. Quickly out of the water, get your photos as quick as you can. We know it's not that easy. We understand that, but it comes back on us at the end of the day. If we do the right thing, we can get the photos, get them back in, then we're good.
You'll probably see a couple of productions come up between now and the end of the year with Murray cod releasing proper practices.
There you go. Hopefully that's a bit of advice for you people at home, and I'm sure fisheries are listening and watching and that sort of stuff. That's it for Talking Fishing. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, we'll preview some of the fishing destinations you may be heading to for Easter. Until next Tuesday evening, stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing. Talking fishing.